We need to get her up top. Air is -20. Seems like a lot better start than what we had before. So the flayed man just died, right? Okay, let's teleport Fane up to top here. instantly died. I think that's going to be a recurring saying in this fight. Of course we can't do it now. We lose all of our action points. Target is too far. Oh, Jesus. I mean, he's standing right in front of me. Target is too far. I mean, I guess you can just sort of like lower down so you can climb up there. So that's something I didn't know. There's nothing I can do. I guess I could cast spells. Immune to poison. Air, not really. I guess I could. Yeah, but she's just gonna die again. No immune to, so it can be charmed. Or petrified. Oh. Didn't hit any of my guys. Oh, he's dead. I think one mistake we're making this game is that we have to Good job, Brackus. ignoring everyone around us and attacking Prince. Target is too far. What the? Rex has no armor. Wow, Los died somehow. The problem is I think we need to restart and give our guys all bless, because we need to bless this nasty fire that we have. practicing that now.
Brachus Rex, the Source King of Legend, lies dead once more, perhaps even for good. Darius groans and looks to you with weakened eyes.
I have failed. The future of all that is rests on your shoulders.
We stand once more on the cusp of divinity, but this cup, so long thirsted for, I willfully let it pass from me. All my life has been a lead-up to this, to be the King of Kings, God of Gods. I will not say it was in vain, but I will say it was vanity.
Can we at least res
If
Los?
I were to chance upon my throne right now, I would sit down beside it, cast my glance to the horizon, and think of worthier things. I'd think of Sadha, my great love. I'd think of my children, their joyous dance through fiery skies. And of course I'd think of you, of the adventures we had, of our unlikely yet heartfelt friendship. Yes, I'd sit there, thoroughly contented, and wait for you to ascend the throne. I know.
A mischievous smile.
But I do have to add, likewise.
Well then, this is, as they say, it. I never dreamed that after all this, I would be standing here with one of your kind, let alone that I would be proud to do so. I cannot imagine someone I would trust more with divinity, including myself.
Fane lays a bony hand on your shoulder, squeezing gently.
Do you know, I believe you will.
You think back on your journey here, on all you have seen, on how the Magisters hunted sorcerers who committed horrible crimes, and purged sorcerers who only tried to heal the sick. You think of how the Eternals unleashed void-woken horror on the world in an effort.
I was trying to res up Los.
You look at the source around you. You know that within your reach is divinity. You think of what you could do with such power. Seeing the vast quantity of source in front of you, you think you should be able to handle a couple of void-woken. You think of your personal problems. It's time to make a choice. A choice that decides the fate of Rivellon and of you. Where do you stand?
Take a deep breath and say, I accept the power of divinity.
After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own fate and the future of the world. What shall you do with divinity?
So you can do several things when you become with divinity. You could fulfill your destiny as the Godwoke and become the new divine. Give your source back to all the peoples. Release divinity into the world. When everyone is divine, no one is divine. Allow yourself in the world to be purged of a source. Give your source back to the peoples. Release divinity into the world. When everyone is divine, no one is divine. I think this is what Sabine would actually do because of her feelings towards slavery. But give your source back to the peoples. Release divinity into the world. When everyone is divine, no one is divine.
so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the Godwoken. When the dust settled, no new divine had risen. Instead, all Source was released into the world for all the people and every creature to share. Everyone was now a sorcerer. And united, the peoples of Rivellon pushed back the God King into the very depths of the void. This ushered in a new golden age of peace and prosperity. But alas, it was not to last. With many greedy for wealth, power and position, the struggle soon began anew. Source, the very language of creation, was used in violence once more. The never-ending contest for power continued. As for me, my last hope of ever being freed of the God King's terrible tyranny faded when the Godwoken failed to seal the veil. An eternity of pain and suffering is mine, in service of the King, until the day I am freed, the day the God King returns.
Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here, she looks almost angelic.
Well, here we are again. You, me, and the ship I've saved from ruin for your personal benefit. I'd say you owe me, but why state the obvious? Get an eyeful. I expect it's the last we'll see of each other for some time. I've a lot of planning to do. Now that there's not to be a new divinity.
She drums her fingers testily on her crossed arms.
All that work, all that effort tossed into the gutter like a malformed child.
Total world is better off without an almighty tyrant.
You say that now. Let's see how you feel when you realize the true implication of a world filled with sorcerers. Never mind. I'll find another way. I always do.
She fingers the mask, covering her face. For a moment, it seems as though she's about to remove it. But instead, she places a hand on your shoulder.
We've come a long way together. I did my best by you all the way. Sacrificed much. And
She looks you up and down.
I guess this will have to do. Take a moment, why don't you? Relax. Enjoy. I certainly plan to do the same. Oh, I don't know. Around and about. Treat myself to some mead, a lover or 300. I'd say we've earned it. Perhaps our paths will cross again. Perhaps not, until we find out.
Ocean looks really cool. And the graphics in this game are pretty impressive at some points.
Well, well, look what the cat dragged in. A Godwoken. But what good is it to be Godwoken when Source is now a free-for-all, and there is no divinity to be had? Don't fool yourself. In the absence of a master will rise. King, God, there is still power to be had. As long as there is power, there is conflict. Source for all, it is but the dream of an idiot who will soon wake to find his wrists in shackles. In that sense, I suppose I should look upon it all as an opportunity. People crave authority. They'll beg for a sorcerer king like me.
Sorcerer King, so he meant to be a Red Rex. Is that it? A second Braxis?
Please, I'm not a dilettante.
He sighs, which...
But come. We've traveled too long by one another's side to end with an argument. We'll not part on bad terms, will we? Home. After all, I've dragons to raise. I need to teach them to be good boys and girls before they set the entire world on fire. There may be an accident or two along the way. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. I do so long to see my palace again. The Forbidden City. The sense of spices and incense. The sound of sitars in far-off rooms. To sit all day in perfumed shade and watch the white of the marble change with the journey of the sun. But above all, I long to be with Sadher. Long to finally have the time to love. Oh, but before you go, remember how when we first met, I took you by the jaw to inspect your teeth? So you did, you little firebrand, you. Now, if you'll recall, despite lacking a sense of fashion, as per your own testimony, you can cook and groom. Two quite indispensable talents. At the time, of course, I couldn't have foreseen the adventure ahead, but now that it's quite over, I'd like to renew the opportunity for you to become my slave. What say you?
You know what? That sounds absolutely wonderful. Shake your head, sigh deeply, then hit him on the nose.
Taken quite by surprise, he staggers back, blood dripping down his nostrils.
I take that as a no, then. Fair enough. But next time, please, use your words.
Hilarious.
Source of all, eh? Bold move, I'll grant you that. I didn't think anyone considered the little people anymore. I don't know yet. Perhaps peace will reign and all will be equal. Or perhaps you've bestowed great power on undeserving children and turned them loose on each other. Time will tell, I'm sure. That is the question, isn't it? How does one top the greatest feat of necromancy ever conceived? I might have the answer to that. Tell me, have you ever heard of Gustafsson? No, of course you wouldn't. It's a written language, unreadable to most, but myself naturally. It comes from a mysterious race from another world, beings that feed on minds. I intend to seek them out. This Gustafsson seems to guard portals to their realm. And once I've uncovered one, well, why settle for being the greatest mind in just one world, when there's another for the taking?
I feel weird, like I've got ants crawling in my belly. There is a matter I must attend to, however. My payment for all the stuff I've done for you.
He taps his fingers and mouths silently while he...
1,300,000 dozen and 50 gold pieces. Now pay up. I'm a fair businessman is what I am. But if you can't pay me in money, then I'll just have to insist you keep me on until you can. So, what position can you offer?
Tell me be a special advisor, your right-hand man. Drop your voice to a whisper. You need him to spy for you. Someone to dig up dirt on your enemies.
Han ponders your suggestion for all...
Okay, I love being all sneaky and well, yeah. But you better believe the bill for that will be a doozy.
Fane is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He leafs through it slowly, muttering to himself.
I see. Intriguing.
He glances up at you, big, empty eye sockets taking in every detail.
Well, well, there you are. Another fine specimen of your kind. A little leaner than when we first met, and a little less divine than you'd hoped, I imagine.
Maybe, but now everyone is a little less divine. Maybe, but now everyone is a little divine. It seems less important.
Yes, indeed. all of my people's source, spread across the mortal races.
Fane looks back down to the book, a bony finger running across the embossed leather cover.
It could have been different, you know? I could have saved them. I could have found a way.
Offer your condolence. To lose his people is tough, but his daughter too. Say it is over. There wasn't anything else he could have done. Maybe he could, but he didn't, and you're not going to apologize for your freedom.
No, I don't expect you do. And I would not ask you to. We all made our choices, and now we must live with the consequences. So, what do you think you'll do now that we live in a world of minute divines?
I'm going to take a nice long break and want some peace. You're going to carry on the adventure, of course. You're pretty good at this. You're going to keep the peace. The rest of the world are more powerful than ever. Things will be tense.
Fane nods grimly.
Power in the hands of madmen is dangerous, but power in the hands of well-meaning fools? Empires have crumbled over less.
The skeleton hefts Hubert's dog-eared encyclopedia, its weight heavy in his hands.
I've been rereading this book, looking over your history once again, poring over every detail with a new perspective, and do you know what? It's shit.
Fane tosses the book over his shoulder. It flutters in the air as it sails over the ship's railing and disappears with a faint splash.
If you have spent your life staring at a thing, you can write about it with knowledge. You can write about it with love. But it is almost impossible to write about it with wonder. You creatures have spent your lives trudging about this world, and you've grown blind to its miracles. Simply that to see the true beauty of a thing, sometimes you have to look at it as an outsider, as someone with fresh eyes, if you will. Take otters, for example. Energetic, waterproof cats, utterly beautiful creatures. Or octopuses. Did you know they're secretly octopuses? Octopi? Octopods. I shall have to look that up. Regardless, the world is filled with absolutely incredible sights. And who better to catalogue them with the awe they deserve than someone seeing them for the first time? Oh, yes. I imagine it was.
Fane nods curtly and turns away, notebook in hand.
There's nothing interesting down there. The future lies above, not below.
I think that's the end of the story. And of course, Los was dead when, you know, the game ended, unfortunately, so we don't know where she is or what's going on. It's kind of dumb. So we missed parts of the story. I mean, that's the problem with this game a little bit. I guess she died in the battle.